Hello, ladies and gentlemen, juggalos and zooligans. This is Luke the Goon, aka Luke Nukem, back at you. Today's video is a little bit different than what I've been doing. I'm going to do kind of a news roundup of all the AXE news that you probably missed out on. This is all kind of like a little bit obscure stuff that maybe showed up in like a comment or reply. Also, the big news that's kind of all going to be kind of chronological. I just kind of wanted to put it all in one video so that anybody who has missed out on what's going on can get this all real quick in, like I said, a short video. Back in late February, this is before all this crazy stuff happened, Bill commented on a post about vinyl, and he said that we would possibly get a vinyl to bump on 420. So I'm not so sure that's going to happen anymore. I mean, I'm sure that vinyl is going to come out. We shall see. It may have got pushed back a little bit. I'm hoping not, but you would think that a pre-order or something like that would go up by now. Maybe it'll be, yeah, because he said bump, so I don't know. But that was a little while ago. We'll see if that still comes to fruition. And then a little bit later, about 2 weeks later, Lee Carver posted on Facebook that he had a 6-day studio session in Detroit. Now, what's interesting about this, to me anyway, is that a lot of what AXE they record in the Church of Zool down in Portsmouth, Ohio. They don't normally record stuff for their albums in Detroit. So this kind of leads me to believe that maybe this is for, like some Venomous 5 stuff. Because I know Monoxide said they've recorded a bunch of stuff already. Twisted has gone on and said they're working on 2 albums. So it makes sense that, they're getting more tracks together for Venomous 5. Regardless, even if it's just for an AXE album, that's good news. 6-day session by Lee. That was back on March 7th. Still kind of another kind of before the craziness happened. Obviously, he was in Michigan. The good news, some more good news. If you're watching this on the day I release this video, which will be April 1st, Billy Obey is going to do a Facebook Live takeover on the Magic Ninja Entertainment. I imagine we'll get some much more juicy news, especially in regards to maybe that vinyl. I'm sure he's going to talk about the new album. We'll hear what he has to say about the new album, because I'm sure that's, like I said, that's probably what he's going to talk about. So when we find out there, I'll definitely report back on here. But this is kind of the meat and the bones of this video, really, is that Lee Carver did another Facebook Live where he revealed the new producer, the guy who's really putting together this new album, is going to be Slasher Dave. I'd heard his name in passing. He's a juggalo, a zooligan. He does a lot of kind of different stuff than what you were used to listening to from AXE. Primarily, I would say, probably like Acid Witch is really different. But he has a very kind of cool John Carpenter, retro wave, synth wave sound, similar to Goblin, who did music for Dario Argento in his films. If you've ever seen some of the really older Italian horror films, like Demons or the list goes on, Deep Red, on and on. That's what he sounds like. If you hear his stuff, I'll put some links in the description. It's really kind of different. It's really cool. I love that kind of music. I've been listening to synth forever. And he's got a lot of like little mixtape things that he's dropped here and there. A lot of little singles and stuff. It's really kind of like spooky synth. It's just, I love the sound. I imagine for AXE, it's going to be a little bit different. It's probably going to hit a lot more. There'll probably be a lot more bass. But Lee said that in one session, like one straight session, they came up with all the concepts for the album, and that Slasher Dave is doing everything on the album, which means that there'll be no kind of Billy Obey beats or anything like that, or anybody else that does stuff for them. It's just going to be strictly a Slasher Dave album. Um, it's a little hard to dig up because I tried to dig it up, but I've heard through the grapevine that one of the people who helped tutelage Slasher Dave was Mikey Clark. And if you know anything about the underground, you know Mikey Clark is a legend. He produced all of ICP's classic albums. Anything that bumps hard from ICP was most likely produced by Mikey Clark. So it's pretty big news. I have very high hopes for this album now. In other little tidbits of news, Billy Obey has been back on social media. He was been posting on Facebook and Instagram recently, and he's been commenting on Facebook saying, he's in the studio making beats, writing, recording, which would kind of indicate maybe he's doing another, because I actually talked to him about this at Astronomicon, because a few months back he had teased releasing a mixtape, and he was kind of telling me like he just got all these new packages in, and he got all these new, all this new plugins and stuff, and he didn't like his old stuff, so he's putting together new stuff, and he's just been kind of afraid to release something because he doesn't want to look back at it and kind of cringe. So I think he's just trying to put his best foot forward. He has been saying if you want beats, hit him up. He released kind of a couple little sound snippets of what he's been cooking up at the Church of Xul. I'll actually include that at the very end of this video. It's going to be a little bit disjointed because on Instagram you can only post like so many seconds before it jumps to the next one. So it's going to be a little bit chopped up, but you'll get the idea. And it sounded dope. I mean, Billy Obey, he did the Halloween track for them. So Billy knows what he's doing, and all of them are like, they're grinding hard. Obviously, the new album on the way, they're working hard. They got lucky in that they had already planned this time to be in the studio, and that they didn't plan on touring at this point. So they really got lucky, not depending on that kind of income. I'm totally amped for this album now, especially after listening to some of what Slasher Dave has been doing in the past, and knowing that this album is like, we're pretty much on the precipice of a new album. I should also mention that Billy also posted a picture of a mausoleum / kind of crypt, and he just put hint as fuck, and it's just a mausoleum. It's kind of funny because on the little tombstone beside it, it almost looks like it says Voorhees. I don't think that has anything to do with it, but it's like, what's the exact concept of the album? Are they going to be like crypt keepers kind of telling stories, or like, is it going to be, just some kind of cemetery theme? I don't know. But he also put #October. So new album in October. I mean, that's completely reasonable. They've got time to announce it, set up pre-orders, and release it in October. And from what it sounds like, most of the album is done. From the way Lee was talking about it, from the way they're starting to ramp up their social media, I think we're getting closer and closer to a release in October. All the craziness will probably be subsided by then, hopefully. And so it sounds like perfect timing to me. Other than that, the only new things we've got is there's been some kind of new merch that's kind of come out. They did a Joey Exotic, MNE did a Joey Exotic t-shirt that's got Joey Black with his like shirtless pic with zebra cakes in the background. It's kind of a play on the whole Joe Exotic Tiger King kind of thing blowing up. They picked the perfect time to release it. And then on Zulmart, they released some stickers that I picked up. The best thing about the Zulmart thing, though, is that with every order now until they run out, anything you order on there, they're going to include the little Joey Black magnet. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Of the, there it is. the famous, the now infamous pool slide. I wish they would have shown him wearing his socks in this, because that was probably the most funny part. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give everybody kind of a really quick rundown. Hopefully this is quick. I don't know how long I've gone on for, but of all the news that's going on right now. Like I said, I might do a follow-up really soon, depending on what Billy has to say on the Facebook Live. So anyway, without any further ado, here's a little snippet of what Bill has been cooking up on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.